Hunies, it's Yolz and welcome back to Midweek Motivation. Today I'm going to talk about something interesting that I've kind of gone through since January, I suppose, which is the reality of your gift making room for you. You know, I used to always say that in varsity, and I used to say that to my friends, your gift will make room for you. Proverbs 18 verse 16, your gift will make room for you, until the day came, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Bill and Melinda Gates collaboration, and I had to sit back, pinch myself, and realize that if I had not started putting this camera up and literally speaking my truth, speaking about my journey to people I don't know, that opportunity would have never come, you know. I would not have seen that, and that in itself was just proof that my gift did make room for myself. And I just want to talk about your gift, because a lot of the times some of us are too shy to even talk about our gifts. Some of us don't really know how to explore them, and I want us to dig into that. So yeah, let's get straight into this video. You know what to do. If you do enjoy it, give it a massive thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know your gift. If you don't know your gift, please start praying and searching for your gift. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. So let's actually start straight in the Bible. I actually haven't whipped up scripture in any of my midweek motivation videos. I've been tempted to, but today is the day because it is in the word. That means it's true, it's truthful, it is the case. Your gift definitely will, but where is it? In the word. Let's open our Bibles. That is Proverbs 18 verse 16, and it says, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. Now the easiest example is always, let's make the example the man behind the camera. Mr. Brendan Ledwaba, right? He sings. And when you think about where his journey started, how he's been singing for a long time, besides the fact that he's a PK, you know, you are a PK, ne? Besides all of that, the fact that he knew his gift and he nurtured it and he practiced day in and day out, and he stood before crowds on idols and he sang, and now he's living that very gift that is his purpose, I believe, part of his purpose rather, because we are all gifted in many ways, and our purpose can be broader than what we actually think. So in his case, his is very obvious in a sense. A lot of people think all our gifts are as obvious, but no, mine may not be like his to stand before multiple men and actually sing and touch their lives through singing. Yours could be simply like mine, sitting in a room with one or two people right now and talk and impact them and encourage them. Other people have a gift of literally just praying. You know, actually in varsity, when I was searching and asking the Lord to reveal to me, I actually used to believe that my gift was intercession, which was praying for other people. And I would look and ask people if I've met them and they have a need, and I'd pray towards that need and pray with them. But then I got to understand that it is part of the bigger picture. And now on a bigger scale, every single night I do bring you guys in prayer, but more than that, I get to sit in front of a camera and talk to multiple women on my own, in my own room, but at the same time to so many different screens, you know. And in that way, my gift has made room even before men like Bill Gates himself and his wife, Melinda Gates, you know, who easily could have just looked away from my channel, looked at, in fact, the examples they sent me 2 videos of what they wanted, like similar collabs they've done. And both these YouTubers, one had 4 million subscribers, the other one had 10 million subscribers. And I was like, there I'm sitting on like 40,000 something, what, you know? But I got to realize that it is not the numbers. It is not the fame. It is the gift. That is what has opened the door. So whatever the gift may be in your case, it could be literally, I'm trying to think of things that are outside of what the world sort of pushes, because a lot of the times it's what's in the forefront that we think looks glamorous and what we think is a real gift, when it could be as simple as praying for people. It could be as simple as you being a prayer warrior for your family, praying them out of poverty, praying them out of real struggles, circumstances that are hard, praying them out of heartache. You know, I have a church member who's diagnosed with cancer, and it's so difficult. Every Thursday, every Sunday, I see him. I know how hard the walk is, and sometimes it's hard for me to say it to him, but in prayer I fight and I pray for healing daily, you know. And I believe I'm still gifted in that area, but no one needs to know that. No one at church knows how hard I pray for him. No one needs to know that, but that is my gift. And I know, even though it's not making room for me evidently before men, I know that on the altar, that before Christ, that on the throne of God, it is, I've got room there, and that is more than enough, you know. A lot of the times our dreams, we want them to be validated by the world. We want them to be seen by many people, but it need not be seen, you know. At the last time we were here, I think I was speaking about, I don't even know which topic we were talking about, but I was talking about somebody being a whisperer of hope and encouragement among their friends. You don't have to be the loudest mouth to be gifted. You don't have to be the person. I even speak in the workplace, how I've seen people work through their talents that have made them stand up before men. You know, I used to see this one girl at work. She was a researcher. She was a brilliant researcher, and the moment she got out of feeling as though this is not a gift and started reaching out to people with her research papers, she sat on the news, on TV. She was interviewed multiple times, things she didn't even dream of, because she's not that person. But her research brought so much value, not only in the company that we worked at, but in South Africa as a whole. People wanted to know her opinion on the economy. People wanted to know, I'm not even going to mention her name, people wanted her opinion on where we see the markets, you know, time and time again, especially related to property and all of those things. So her gift was reading. She loved reading, and she loved extracting certain things and putting it in her own opinion, and therefore looking at how she would forecast things in the next 3 to 6 months and in the next year. And she's somebody who is now even advising people like the SARB, you know, SARB, the Reserve Bank, because they want to know her opinion. But it started off with somebody sitting in her desk and realizing that my gift is interpreting all this research, all this raw data, and translating it in my own words that's understandable. And then only was she able to really translate that, interpret it before a lot of people who found that valuable, and now we see it on our screens, you know. So again, I wish I had better examples that did not have to do with screens and TVs and performers like what Brendan prays, but I want you to understand that your gift has got nothing to do with the world, but it will make room for you in the world, because we are in this world and we've got a purpose in this world. Therefore, there's already room, you know. It is that gift that's going to open the doors for you. Don't shy away from lifting your hand in the boardroom. In fact, let's make that conversation. Let's make that example. In a corporate space, how do you cultivate that gift? How do you know I am gifted in a certain area? Well, look for gaps. Most of the time, our natural talents will come up when we do find gaps. And the first instinct in your mind will be, well, what can I personally do in my own capacity to fix this or to resolve certain things that people may not see? Your eye is already being channeled in the direction of your gift. That's literally what I always believe. So for me, being an extrovert and a speaker in a boardroom full of people, and I'm not saying anything, right? Usually I would sit there and keep quiet, but then I realized, well, I do have an opinion, and my gap in this market was I would not see women of color, young black women in my space. And every time we had sat in a meeting, I'd first find out, what are we talking about in this meeting? So I'd do a little bit of research, which I hated, and then come to the meeting and add value, whether it's a question that I'm asking related to this or an idea. So after hearing what we're going to be talking about, I would represent my gift by actually pitching something new that maybe no one else thought about, or someone did think about but they didn't vocalize it because they were too shy, or they were just too busy to explore more of it. For somebody else, it could be organizing. Okay, somebody did something as simple as literally deciding to create a shared folder for our team. Believe it or not, she got a promotion because she literally put herself in a position where she looked like the most organized person in the team. So every single thing that we needed, she only needed to lift her hand and be like, well, what if we had a shared folder? Okay, guys. And then for things where we are traveling, what happens if we can, how can we organize it in a way that it works out better? She was doing our events. She would organize literally every single thing to a point where our bosses would take her to meetings just because she had the organization skills. She did not have the talking skills, but she was always organized. So it's not necessarily about standing out because you are louder or standing out because you seem brighter, but it's about standing out because your gift is enough and your gift can open that door, whatever it is. Some people have better writing skills, you know. Why aren't you writing the papers at work? You've read the papers, you've seen the errors. Me, I can be a red pen at times, but I always appreciated that one person who was quiet, who said, Yolz, I know you've done a bit of research and you've written this memorandum. Can I have a look at it? You know, they have copyright skills. They don't even know that they've got copyright skills. Why aren't you using that? There are other people who have an eye for color and formatting. Why aren't you using that in the workplace? Even if you're in a team that doesn't look at those things, find room where your gift can fit in, and trust me, it will make a bigger room for you, for other people to see it, and more especially for you to grow in that field and hopefully live out your gift and your purpose. I always say that your gift is part of your purpose. Your gift may not necessarily be the bigger purpose. Like the biggest example is Brendan. Brendan sings, but there's a lot more about him than just singing. His gift has made room for him, yes, but it's opened other doors more than just singing, you know, in more opportunities like being a videographer, having his own production company, and things that he's passionate about. But more than that, you know, things that he says and does and touches lives through living out his purpose, not just the gift in itself. So don't shy away from seeking that. And I always encourage people when somebody says, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel. Okay, fine. The first place is to dig your why, to dig into your why, to understand what your why is. The only way you really want to know that is if you do understand where your gifting lies, right? So I really want to encourage you to go and dig in. How did I know my gift? Yolz, how did you know you could speak? I think the biggest and easiest way for me was my love for people. Every single time I met somebody, I had a passion to know more about them, and I always found myself giving more than I was receiving, right? I remember even as a kid, I'd speak in front of the mirror, but it was always about me either encouraging the mirror, singing to the mirror, doing something that was giving to the mirror. And the minute I picked up the camera, if you watch one of my first few videos, it was about driving and getting in the front seat of your life. It's always been about speaking into people's lives and impacting them, and not necessarily to be heard, no, but rather to impart something, some knowledge. Where do I get this knowledge? The Lord alone knows. He alone has given me that, you know. So that's how I really got to understand that. In high school, I didn't even explore that, but I knew I loved the speaking part of me, and only when I jumped into varsity did I actually discover that this is actually a gift. When I entered competitions and I was winning for speaking, radio gigs, TV gigs and that kind of thing, and I was like, actually this is actually a thing. And every time I did that, it felt good. People don't talk about that feeling. So for instance, I can imagine for Brendan, who's standing behind this camera, every time you sing, Brendan, I'm actually talking to you, bro. Every time you sing, whether or not you knew it was your gift, does it feel good?
Yeah.
Does it give you
fulfilling?
Yeah, that feeling of fulfillment. That's what I mean. So let's take another small scale example of you being the red pen at work. After you've done all the red penning, does that feel good? Does it make you feel fulfilled? I mean, it shouldn't make you feel better than the next person. Absolutely not. It shouldn't make you feel like, Yazin, I know everything. This is why I need a red pen. No, but it should have a sense of, I'm at the right place. I'm doing what I need to be doing. This is purpose. Your gift does feed into your purpose. Therefore, it will make you feel as though you are at the right place at the right time. That is how you discover your gifts. How do I discover without exploring? Angaz. You have to look back into your past and think about things that you used to enjoy, that used to make you feel as though you were actually living. You know, now how do I know I'm still living out my gift? Because when I wake up with that zeal, that enthusiasm. You know, I wake up with a much better self-esteem than I did when I was working for almost 5 years in corporate. I wake up knowing very well that I'm at the right place at the right time, and that every time I put in the time to live out my gift, something inside of me tells me that this is it. This is me in my element. It feels right. That's literally the only way I can describe it. And I really want you to go back home and take that practical step and really rethink the things that you are doing in your life, whether it is in corporate, whether you're an entrepreneur, and try and pinpoint the things that do make you feel as though you're in your element when you are doing them. It is in that where you'll find your gift, and hopefully you can ask the Lord to cultivate that and groom that, because a gift in itself needs to be polished. You know, I always talk about practicing, and sometimes we miss it and think, Yolz just wakes up, sits in front of the camera and just speaks. It takes practice to make it easier and better. Doesn't mean that since you know your gift, it's going to be very easy. No, it feels good doing it, but doesn't mean that the nerves aren't there. Goodness, every time I stand on stage and I speak to a crowd, I get nervous. I'm sure for Brendan, I don't know. Do you still get nervous?
Yeah, but it's like good nerves.
Right, exactly. You know, you can discern. But over time, it's not fear. You won't fear what is part of you.
Anticipating.
I love that, right? So it's almost like, so what he's saying is, it's almost as though you are anticipating. So those nerves are, the nerves of good anticipation, because you know you're about to do it. And once you release it, it feels good once you're in it, right? I know when I start talking, I just go on and on and on. But you get into the full zone of doing it. So I want you to go and find that, because that is part of you finding your why. It's part of you finding the bigger picture. And your gift will make room for you. But I think if I could add, we can't add scripture, but if I could add to that in real life, your gift also redirects your steps towards your bigger purpose. It has to start with you understanding your initial gift and where God has originally placed inside of your heart, that thing that He's placed. Cultivate that and you'll be able to find your bigger purpose and hopefully live it out for Him. I love you guys so much. That is it from me, and I hope you do enjoy searching for your gift. I can't wait to see what is in the comment section there. If you do know your gift, please don't be shy. Let me know down in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Mwah. Bye.